Hey guys, welcome back to Auto Journey. Today we have a special treat for you. Lately we've been talking a lot about the Bronco, but today we have a different vehicle out here.
We have my 2014 F-150 Tremor. Now this is not the Tremor that you may be familiar with. This is the Tremor that was introduced in 2014 and made for only one model year, right before the F-150 switched to its all aluminum construction.
Now, you might be asking yourself at this point, well, what makes this Tremor different from the newer Tremors? I'm going to tell you. This Tremor was actually built as an on-road performance vehicle, meaning that Ford was specifically focusing on making this a street truck.
Yep, that's right. Ford started with a regular cab short bed truck to differentiate it from all the work trucks out there. And they also did something special in the engine. It is the 3.5 Ecoboost that even to this day, you cannot order a regular cab short bed truck with the Ecoboost engine, which really makes this configuration unique. In addition to that, Ford also threw in a 410 rear axle ratio to help with acceleration, something that you also can't get unless you get the Raptor, but definitely can't get it on the regular cab.
So are we going to be talking about all the different features today that you've added and maybe that's on special on this truck?
Absolutely. We're going to go through what made the Tremor special and then what I did to make it even different from the already unique Tremor.
Let's do it. To help enhance the look of the truck, Ford borrowed some styling cues from the FX appearance package from the F-150 lineup.
Yes, some of those are the black emblems with red lettering, as well as these running boards across the side and graphics. So you have a hood graphic over here and the body side graphic, this hockey style graphic. Now, I believe the Tremor actually got a slight variation on those, but essentially if you look at an FX2 or FX4 F-150, they're gonna look pretty similar. Now, talking about the FX versions of the F-150, the Tremor is actually based on a FX4 or an FX2. What that means is either a four-wheel drive version or a two-wheel drive version. I happen to have the FX4, hence why I went with the off-road style that I'm going for instead of turning this into a street truck, and I'm not trying to turn a two-wheel drive vehicle into an off-road vehicle. So moving on with that kind of Raptor vibe that I wanted for my truck. Down here, we have 33-inch BFG KO2s wrapped around a 17-inch black Alpha wheel. And to top that off, this truck isn't just looks, it also has performance to back it up. Underneath here, we have 2.5-inch Fox shocks with reservoirs as well as BDS upper control arms and iBox springs to help with that performance when you're running through the desert. Powering the Tremor is Ford's 3.5 Ecoboost, which is a twin turbo V6 making 365 horsepower and 420 pound-feet of torque. While an impressive number, especially in this configuration, when I was doing research for this video, I saw that there was comments all the way back to 2015 when the new F-150 was already on dealerships' lots that some of these Tremors were still sitting around. Apparently, it was a hard sell.
It was, and part of the reason for that is Ford did create a truck that had a short wheelbase and a high-powered engine, giving it a lot of acceleration, but there was nothing unique about the truck itself. There was no parts modifications or anything uniquely made just for this truck. Instead, it was really a part spin special that was selling for actually a high price tag. This was selling for around $46,000, and at the time, the Raptors were selling for $48,000. That makes it a really, really expensive truck, close enough to the Raptor, but with nothing unique to its name.
So with the factory Tremor, you got a different grille. This is an aftermarket one, but essentially you would get a body color grille surround. So this would match the paint of your truck. And then you had 3 black bars with the Ford logo. Pretty slick. This one came with this like plastic wire mesh. I'm not a huge fan of it. Erica doesn't mind it.
I don't mind it. I think it looks fine, and I think it gives the front end of his truck a unique touch.
But tying the whole package together, I'm essentially going for like a two-door Raptor vibe with this truck. Hence why we have this Raptor style lower front bumper. We ordered it online. It's Chinese made. It's not the highest quality. The metal is kind of thin, but you know what? It helped with the approach angle when going off-road. I will actually leave a link down below if you're interested in getting one of these bumpers for yourself. We've had this on the truck for about 2 years now, and it's held up. So how do you know you're looking at a Tremor? Well, it's gonna be a regular cab like we already mentioned, and it's gonna have a short bed, but it's also gonna say Tremor on it. But it's only gonna say the Tremor on it in one area. On the back of the truck, on both sides, it will have Tremor right here. There is no badges on the back like there is on the current F-150. So if you follow me back here, we've got another modification that we did to this Tremor to make it stand out just a little bit more. We actually have these black Alpha Rex taillights that we installed, and we did an installation video on these, so check out that on the channel. And then if you follow me over here, we have some other Tremor options that were actually part of the Tremor Plus package. So what that was an additional package that didn't come standard with the Tremor. So this was already an expensive truck, but if you can believe it, you could actually increase the price of it more. So backup camera. Remember, this is 2014. Backup cameras were not standard back then. They were actually optional. And back here we have reverse sensors. Might seem small today, but actually these come in handy when you have people running past you in the parking lot when you're trying to reverse out of a spot. Definitely something I appreciate having. So on the interior of the F-150 Tremor, we've got something really special for a regular cab F-150. Borrowing more parts from the FX appearance package, you get these black leather seats with the red piping, Alcantara inserts, feels really nice, as well as this black leather wrapped steering wheel with red stitching. I know it's a little hard to tell, but it's red, 10 years old. What are you gonna do? Another modification that I was thinking about doing to this was actually adding the F-150 Raptor wheel. Might do it, just depends on budget and what I prioritize. Moving on to the center console, this is actually special. You might be like, a center console, why is that important? Well, if you get a regular cab F-150, you're gonna get a bench seat. So there's gonna be 3 seats here. And yes, the middle seat will probably fold down and have some kind of compartment, but it won't be something like this. Definitely nice to have with your cup holders here, some extra cup holders in the back. Moving on up here to the gauge cluster, you actually get a 4.2-inch information screen. It has stuff such as your miles per gallon. It also has an off-road app that basically tells you your pitch and roll when you're off-roading. So nice to have. The base F-150s of the time actually came with like a little screen. I think it was mostly an odometer, nothing too informational. So that's nice to have, kind of modernizes the truck a little bit. Now the new trucks definitely have a bigger screen, but it's nice to know that I still have a little screen telling me what I need to know. On top of that, over here, you have where you can lock the rear axle. You have access to your 2 high, 4 high, and 4 low. Right below that, another amenity from the Tremor Plus package is your trailer brake controller. And up here, a nice little off-road feature borrowed from the Raptors of the era is hill descent control. So when you're going off a really steep hill, you can control the speed of that electronically and not worry about it. The F-150 Tremor also came standard with My Ford Touch, so there was no base radio in this. You got a touch screen regardless of the Tremor that you got. Well, if you look at this radio, it's actually not My Ford Touch anymore. You might be wondering, well, what is it? It looks factory, right? Yes, we have a nice Raptor splash screen, and the way that we were able to do that is because this is actually Sync 3. So we went ahead and installed a Sync 3 upgrade kit, and we actually have a video on our channel about that if you're interested in learning more. But as you can see, we have audio, phone, navigation, all that good stuff from Sync 3, really bringing this truck that's almost 10 years old up to today's standard with kind of the base sync that you find in most Fords today. The last thing that I want to talk about is my favorite modification that you might not think about as a standard modification, but you definitely should consider it, especially if you live anywhere that's hot like we do in the desert. And that is right here and right here. And that is the tint I had installed on this vehicle. And it's actually 3M crystalline. Now, looking at it, you might be like, that's not a very dark tint. But let me tell you, when the sun is shining through these windows, you can hardly feel it. And if you look out here in front of me, it doesn't look like there's any tint on the windshield, but there definitely is. And if you look up from the outside, you can see it, but from the inside, especially at night, great visibility. I love it. Highly recommend the 3M crystalline if you're interested in getting your vehicle tinted. Don't go with the cheap stuff. It's worth the investment. Let me tell you, had this on for a couple years as well, and it's holding up great and still looks great.
Now, I mentioned at the beginning of this video that Devin has already made some modifications to this truck, but you and I both know he's not done. No. Why don't you go ahead and tell us what you're thinking?
You can never be done. So, starting at the front of the vehicle, I would love to have some upgraded headlights. These are the factory HIDs, and while they are good enough, I would love to have something with a daytime running light. I already mentioned that grille has got to go. From the side of the vehicle, it came with these factory, what I like to call baby fenders. I would love to add something maybe for a little bit more protection, and my tires do poke out just a little bit. So something that I'm thinking about as well, maybe something to help enhance the sound, give this a nice growl. From the interior of the vehicle, the Ecoboost has a little bit of a punch, but I would love something a little bit throatier. And to top all that off, I think a tune just to get a little bit more power out of this vehicle is really all it needs. So what do you think of my Tremor? And what do you think of the modifications that I made to my Tremor? I put a lot of money into this truck so far. Should I have just taken that money and put it as a down payment on the same generation Raptor? Comment down below and let me know your thoughts. Also, while you're down there, don't forget to subscribe. We got more F-150 content coming, and we are gonna take this F-150 and her Bronco off-roading, so you're not gonna wanna miss that.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to click the thumbs up button down below and share this video with your friends or your family or on your Facebook, wherever you like to share things. And we appreciate you guys joining us today.
We'll catch you on the next one.
Bye, guys.